Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. How we doing today? How we feeling today? I'm gonna be honest with you all. I don't know if I'm just tired. I don't know if the energy is just not here today. Maybe that'll change in a little bit, but I'm going to count on everyone in chat today to bring some energy in here, or at least carry the energy for me. But maybe I'll get into it. I did make a couple new slides today to help motivate some people who might be in a tough spot. So hopefully that will be helpful. But welcome. It's nice to see everyone in here. It's nice to see a ton of people in here in chat, talking to each other, being accountable. And that is the topic of today's live stream. That's honestly the topic of the live stream almost every day. There's always some point in there where I talk about the importance of accountability. I mean, that's literally why I do these live streams. This is an accountability live stream. It's an opportunity for me to share how I'm feeling, what's going on in my head, what my weight on the scale says, what I might have eaten the night before, how I'm feeling about that, and anything else when it comes to my journey. So before I begin, I'm going to scroll up here and say hello to all the lovely people that are here today. Maggie May, Ms. Peaceful One, Deja, Tommy, Manla, so many regulars in here. Peace to all. Sleck, Sid, Ian, GYSD, Aisha, hello. Kevin, Judy, Elmadas, Shauna. Did I say Miss Peaceful One? I believe I did. I'm already forgetting. Tanya, Margaret from Facebook, Adeline, Melly Mel, hello. Lori, how's it going? AH, it's nice to see you. Sheila, Ronnie, Tech Over Tech. Duncan, hi Duncan. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Sean TV, hello. Gami, nice to see you. Cap Rising, happy person, hello. Welcome. Welcome to another autophagy. I saw the comment in there. Welcome to another accountability live stream. And before I can even really begin, Miss Peaceful One throwing another donation out there. Miss Peaceful One, thank you for the huge donation. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Miss Peaceful One with the $10 super chat says, we got you with the energy. Thank you. I mean, my energy might pick up in a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. But thank you for the $10 donation. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate that. Thank you. We appreciate you. The 10:28 to 10:30 72-hour fast challenge is still open. Let me know if you are in. So I was actually thinking about this, and I'm still on the fence when it comes to this fast. If anybody is wondering, yesterday, Miss Peaceful One put a challenge out there for a 72-hour fast, or fasting from 10:28 to 10:30. If any of you are interested in joining and want to show some accountability, you want to participate in this 72, or maybe getting as far as you can fast during that time, chime in. Let Miss Peaceful One know in the chat. Now, the reason that I am still on the fence about this is because if you're new here and you're not aware, I am moving out of the country, and I am kind of being pulled at all different places right now to hang out with people before I go. So that's the only reason that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do something this long, because usually when I'm getting pulled to go out, it's to grab a drink, it's to be with friends. So I'm not exactly sure just yet. I think for me, it's going to be a game time decision or a last minute call. So I'll keep you posted, Miss Peaceful One. But again, for anyone that's here, if you want to join in, Let Miss Peaceful One know. Hi, Babita. Hi, Trumpet. Nice to see you. Did I miss anyone else? Hopefully not. So, what are these autophagy live streams? Again, it's an opportunity for me to share what my weight is at, where my fasting is at, where my head is at. But this is also an opportunity for you to share, not just with me, but with everyone else in here, what your journey is looking like. The topic of today's live stream is accountability is the first step to fasting and weight loss success. How can that be? How can accountability be the first step? Because accountability is you showing up. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I want to go over all of that shortly, but I also want to take this time now to see how everyone else is doing. This is an accountability live stream for me, yes, but it's also a chance for you to share how you're doing. It's a chance for you to speak up, to maybe do something different. There are a lot of people in here sharing their journey. And one of the reasons that they do it is because that accountability is important to them. And I always tell people, you need to show up whether good or bad, because especially during the hard times, the tough moments, the days you don't want to show up, I'm going to tell you right now, those are the more important or the most important days to show up. Even as I'm talking to you all right now, and I'm saying, I'm not really feeling it. I don't really have the energy, but I'm here. I have the time to do this live stream. I want to be accountable. I want to make sure that I am keeping myself in check. So let's get to it. Maggie May says, broke my OMAD at 23 hours. Clean refeed, currently 2 hours back into my next fast. Congrats, Maggie May. Congrats, Maggie May, on getting another OMAD down, keeping the refeed clean. And for anybody who's watching this, this isn't just about fasting for days on end. This is about people just taking care of their health and their happiness. And there's no shorter fasts are just as important as longer ones, because as Maggie May says, kept my refeed clean. For anyone who is doing OMAD or shorter fasts and you're struggling because you can't get a longer fast down, like Maggie May says, time to keep the refeed clean. If you want this to work, you also have to be very cognizant of what your refeeds look like. That's just the name of the game. There's a lot of balancing that comes within this. Thank you again, Maggie May. Miss Peaceful One says, I'm currently 42 and a half hours into a fast, sipping on iced coffee with a little MCT oil. And here's another. So first of all, congrats, Miss Peaceful One. I'm being 42 and a half hours in. I'm feeling good, not sure when I'm going to break my fast. I'll cruise until my body says otherwise. And this is Miss Peaceful One performing an open-ended fast. Just going to see how long she can go for. At the same time, having something like an iced coffee with some MCT oil. This is a hack during a fast for somebody to keep going. And if you're here right now and you're like, but is that truly a fast? It is. The way I look at it is we are putting ourselves, and you can sit here and call it a clean fast, a dirty fast. Listen, we're all here to get weight off on the scale, is my guess. We're all here to lose excess body fat. You can call it whatever you want. But the way I look at this is, if this is helping you push forward, if having a 0-calorie drink like I do every now and then, having a Coke Zero, having a Diet Dr. Pepper, having an iced coffee like Miss Peaceful One does, that's how I lost all this weight in the first place. It wasn't just straight water the entire time. In the last 718 days of my journey, I will still have drinks like that from time to time because it's helpful for me to keep pushing on my fast. Miss Peaceful One, Keep us posted. I know you do, as always. Great job. Great job. Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Tommy. And this is why I said autophagy earlier, too, because I saw this and I cracked up at it. Tommy says, what up, J-tophagy? It seems like Tommy's always trying to think of a different name for me. And I'm assuming that's fasting peeps. That's normally what Tommy says. Your boy is down another 2 pounds. Congrats, Tommy, on getting the weight on the scale down again. I've also found myself a little hack for when I get hungry at night. Pickle spears. And again, this is to piggyback on what Miss Peaceful One was doing. Miss Peaceful One has found having an iced coffee is a good way to break up getting a longer fast in, having a little MCT oil. Tommy is now just talking about pickle spears. Other people drink pickle juice. Tommy also says, I ate last night, drank a 0-calorie drink, maybe a Coke Zero, maybe a Diet Dr. Pepper, whatever it might be. Does it mean that you have to do that? No, it doesn't. You do what works for you. But would you rather break with 2,000-3,000 calories right now? Or would you rather go another day by trying something like iced coffee or a 0-calorie drink or even a pickle spear? If you had to weigh those options, which one would you pick? Now, if you're in the camp of, well, that doesn't count as a clean fast, so I'm just going to break. Hey, that's on you. Do you. No one's going to tell you otherwise. That's your decision if you want to break early. It's your decision if you want to just keep it super clean. But for many people who are just trying to get the weight off, this is something that you can try and see if it's helpful for you. It also doesn't mean you have to do it forever. And I think that's the thing that trips people up. They feel like, oh, now I did it like this. Now this is who I am. It's not your identity. Every day is going to be different. Your journey should be evolving day in and day out. Tweak, optimize, keep finding hacks. That's how you get good at this. So Tommy also says, thanks to J-tophagy for encouraging me to find healthy mediums in my fasting journey. Hashtag, can you believe it? Pickles. Tommy, I'm so proud of you for trying something out and realizing, hey, I can probably do this instead. This is also to talk about Tommy the last couple of days, sometimes having trouble eating super late at night, always finding himself maybe eating a little more at midnight. And here is something that Tommy is trying out. It doesn't mean he has to do it forever, but it can be something that he can try out. And if it continues to help him prolong his fast and continue to drop weight on the scale, why wouldn't you? Stop shaming people for drinking a Coke Zero or having bone broth or even having a juice fast or having 250 calories. Why are you shaming people when you don't have to do that? You want to keep it clean? Keep it clean. No one's telling you to have pickles or an iced coffee. One of the things that really annoys me is when people think they're holier than thou. And somebody left a comment on not yesterday's refeed, but my refeed prior to that. And people can't help themselves about the way I eat. Like, they can't believe I can eat that many calories in that short amount of time. And they always think they have to tell me how I should eat instead. And I don't mind learning, but when someone tells me no one should eat that many calories in that amount of hours, it's like, are you just jealous that you can't eat like me? That's the first thought that usually comes to my head. And it's also, I think about, do you even know what my journey looked like? How I used to eat? Eating 3,000 calories today versus eating 6, 7, way more than that when I used to binge 10, 15,000 day in and day out. That's a huge win for me to be where I'm at right now. It's also funny because I'm so transparent, and I think with that comes a lot of good. I see a lot of people who see what I do and they're like, this is helpful for me. I also do this. I'm also in this position. I didn't know I could do this and try things out. That's the importance of it. So keep doing you, Tommy, Miss Peaceful One, everyone here. Keep doing you. The goal is the same, to be happy and healthy. I mean, it's wild to me too, because I think about it and it's like my blood work is good. I've dropped the weight. I've reversed my diabetes. I've reversed my high blood pressure. I've restored my testosterone. I'm in the best shape of my life. And people still think they have something to say about the way I eat. It's like, get over it. And even when I have bad days and I overeat, yeah, that's part of who I am. That's an issue I'm continuing to work on. Anyway, I could go off on that all day, so I will not. Mandla says, hey, finally fasting fam, day 23 of my fasting journey, 3+ weeks into it now. This is accountability. It's a fasting day. I'm currently 27 hours in, aiming for 42. Congrats on 27 in. Hours 22 to 24 were really tough, but I got through it. I'm so grateful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for even showing the vulnerability of having difficulty during those hours. Mandla, if you don't mind, maybe for people who are watching right now and who will eventually read chat or who are in here in chat, what did you do to get through those hours? Was it like a straight white knuckling episode? Did you find something to help you pass that time? I'm sure people might be interested in that, but congrats to you on pushing through again. Continue to keep us posted on your journey. Deja says, does anyone have input on artificial sweeteners while fasting? I have 0-calorie Refeed coffee syrup and want to use it in my black coffee, but it has artificial sweeteners. So just like I said earlier, maybe what you might need to do, Deja, is test it out. I usually drink my coffee black, but sometimes if I do get like a drink at Starbucks or whatever, and I'm trying to keep it 0-calorie and I still want something different, I'll ask them to put like a pump of the sugar-free vanilla in there. It's not my favorite, but it doesn't affect me in any kind of way. But for some people, artificial sweeteners can, I've worked with people where they told me it spikes their insulin, it triggers hunger, it makes them want to eat. So I think it's just different for everyone. I can drink a Coke Zero and be fine. Actually, when I drink a Coke Zero or a Diet Dr. Pepper or an iced coffee, it helps me prolong my fast. So it's going to depend. Actually, you'll have to keep us posted, Deja. I'm sure other people in chat have probably chimed in with this already. Deja also says, feeling good today. Start of my 7-day fast to hit 100 pounds down and beat my 5-day fasting record. Good luck to you, Deja. Again, like I said, keep us posted. And remember, even if it isn't 7 days, although I want to see it happen, I want you to keep us posted. It's progress. And to be almost 100 pounds down, I feel like you're probably at this point where you're just like, I just want this. I want to get there. I totally get it. And as long as you can healthily do it, keep us posted. Not looking at the scale until November 1st. So a week from now, I don't need the scale to know what needs to be done. That's fair enough, right? 7 days, 0 calories. Of course, you're going to lose excess body fat. Deja also says the backup plan. This is what I love to see, is that Deja still has a backup plan. Whether it's a 7-day fast or not, there is still a backup plan in here. Why is a backup plan important? Because your plans will not always be perfect. This is where accountability is important. This is where a backup plan is important. And look at Deja's backup plan. Plan number 1, bone broth, Diet Coke, pickle juice, backup plan number 2. So even a backup plan to the backup plan. Backup plan number 2, OMAD, and then start again until I reach 10 days fasted total with my new workout plan. This is what I'm talking about. This is somebody who is thinking it through and doing something hard like a 7-day fast, but also says, I need to give myself grace. I need to give myself an opportunity to have a backup plan. I need to give myself an opportunity to have a backup plan to my backup plan. A lot of those things are super important because most people who tell themselves, I'm going to fast for 7 days, I'm going to fast for 25 days, 40 days, they have no backup plan. And then what happens? That's where the all or nothing comes into play. If you're going to do a 30-day fast, you're 7 days in, you end up breaking and have no backup plan. Usually everything falls apart after that, because then you're thinking, okay, I'll just do another 30, but let me just eat for the next however many days until I feel like pushing another 30 day. And then you beat yourself up about it. And then you're going through the cycle. Again, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Melly Mel with a $10 super chat. Melly Mel, thank you for the support as always. I appreciate that. Melly Mel with a $10 super chat says, this is one of the reasons you resonated with me so much. It's a judgment-free zone, and that's absolutely how I intend to keep it. I've never been able to follow anyone's plan/program 100%. I always had to modify to make it work for me. And this is what I look at, Melly Mel, as doing something smart, because we can follow plans all day. But like I said, weight loss is very simple. You eat 0 calories, you eat a severe, or you put yourself in a severe caloric deficit, of course you're going to lose weight. But you don't have to follow everyone's plan to a T. That's why when people tell me, Jerome, I want to fast like you, that's fine if you want to do 90-hour fasts, but do you also want to eat 6,000 calories like I do, 7,000 calories like I do in a 3-4 hour period? Do you even know why I was fasting for that long? It was just to offset all the food I was eating. And look at how that's changed over time. Nobody told me to do a 90-hour fast. Nobody told me to eat 6,000-7,000 calories. Nobody's telling me today to fast for 42 hours and eat about 3,000 calories. This is something that I've had to evolve my plan into and try different things out, realizing that a Coke Zero can get me through a longer fast. An iced coffee can get me through a longer fast. That going for a walk in the morning, working out first thing in the morning sets the tone of the day for me. Do you know what all of that means as well? That's accountability. That's showing up for myself every day, trying things out, not setting it in stone, saying this is the only way, everyone needs to do this. No, life doesn't work that way. And that's why when I coach people and I talk to anyone in here, you don't see me saying, this is what you have to do. This is the way you have to eat. A lot of that, you're going to have to find that out for yourself and see what works. That's why I always tell people to keep me posted. So Melly Mel, thank you for the $10 donation and wise words as well. I'm glad that you found that eventually you just had to make it work for you. And now I lost my spot. Let me scroll down here. Okay, I found it. Ian says, I finished a 19-hour, 45-minute fast this morning, up 0.4 pounds. I kept my calories low today and got my 10,000 steps in. Oh, constipation seems to be over as well. Well, congrats on the constipation being over, but also this is Ian working all of his other levers. So a 20-hour fast, just about, up a little bit in weight, but did that stop Ian afterwards being up in weight? No. Ian's like, okay, I'm going to keep my calories low. I'm going to get my steps in. I'm going to get my constipation out of the way. I'm just kidding. But I'm glad that you did. So, right, working on other levers outside of just fasting. Congrats, Ian. Thank you for sharing with us. GYSD says day 3 of vacation at the Emerald Coast. How is it, GYSD? Are you enjoying yourself? No scale, but per my skinny jeans, I've lost pounds. Currently in the middle of a 10-mile coastal walk/run. Wow, 10 miles. Are you watching me while you're doing this or while I'm live? Hopefully I'm at least entertaining for you during that time. Enjoy your vacation, GYSD, and congrats on the non-scale victory, right? No scale. GYSD doesn't have a scale, but also knows that it's not just about the number on the scale. Got a pair of skinny jeans that fit well, knows that they're dropping weight, enjoying their vacation. I love that for you. Enjoy GYSD. Thanks for keeping us posted on where you're at and what you've been doing. Speaking of somebody pushing hard, And this is the opposite, right? Sid says day 12 of my 30-day fast. We've had a lot of people come in here, share on a regular basis how long they've gone. Aisha sharing their 50-day fast, or right at 50. I always forget if it was 49 or 50. But a huge fast there. Megan with her 21-day fast. Sid currently working on a 30-day fast. Starting weight 215, current weight 199. You made it, Sid. Sid has made it to Wonderland. Haven't been under 200 pounds in several years. Congratulations on the success. Going to see how far I can push. Don't have any hunger anymore, but will still get cravings. Good luck. Good luck to you, Sid. Keep us posted. And like I say, every day that you show up, whether it ends up being 30 days or not, just like Deja said, have a backup plan. Know what you need to do afterwards and what your plan looks like moving forward. If anything, at the very minimum, Sid, stay accountable. Show up for yourself. Share with us if that's helpful for you. But I love that for you. Congrats on making it another day through. Sorry, I thought, okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So Aisha says, I ate, because I saw Aisha's and I'm like, did Aisha say something before this? But she didn't. I ate a little more in my refeed than I expected, but stopped before I got overly full. This is also working on a weight loss lever outside of just fasting. Aisha knows that the diet portion, the diet lever, still has to be something that she needs to continue working on. And stopping the refeed to the point where you're not overly full takes a lot of practice for many people, for me as well. I still have that problem. That's why even when I finish my refeeds at 3,000 calories, it's hard for me because I can still continue eating. That's a very hard place for me to be in. I'm up 4 pounds from yesterday. My morning weight was 184. I ate in a 40-minute window and I wasn't bloated. That's a huge win. To be able to start finding control and to continue working on showing up for yourself during these moments. That's great, Aisha. Thank you for sharing with us. To be able to stop yourself and say, hey, I don't want to be overly full. I don't like this feeling. I'm going to stop now and I'll hit my timer and go again. Yeah, Aisha also says I walk for 30 minutes after eating, working on more levers than just fasting. Randall says, hello, everyone. Happy pre-weekend. Congrats to all for showing up and being accountable. Thanks for being so kind to everyone. I love this community. Thank you, Jerome. In addition, I'm at maintenance doing OMAD. Randall, thank you for sharing with us. And for anybody who's watching this right now, this is the goal. This is my goal, is to eventually be in maintenance. I know that I will always continue to tweak and try to better myself, but I would love to be in a place where I am not doing extended fasts all day, every day. But even where I'm at right now, doing ADF, I'm pretty happy with that. Honestly, if my life just meant I had to do ADF forever, I would. But I think I can still keep going and get to a place where I can maybe eat back-to-back days every once in a while. Thank you for sharing with us, Randall. Congrats on being on maintenance. Thank you for the kind words to everyone in here. Kevin says 112 hours into a 155-hour fast. Congrats again to Kevin, grinding day in and day out. The internal calm I get with deep fasting is coming in handy as the family is really stressed today. I've been playing Peacemaker all morning. Need to tap into to find my Zen for sure. Wish me luck. All the luck to you, Kevin. The good thing is I'm not looking to food. I told myself I find alone time with my leg in an ice water bath. Here's somebody finding another way to help curb hunger. But I think the bigger thing that I'm seeing here, Kevin, is the fact that you are not using food to cope during a stressful moment. And it doesn't mean that you will never turn to food again to cope, because I know that it still happens to many of us who have gotten into that bad habit. But this is you rewiring your brain, right? This is you telling yourself, I can do something else. I don't need food to cope in this manner. So I love that for you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing with us. Keep going. Keep going. Trumpet says, hi. It's going well. I've been able to stick to rolling 2-day fast for 2 weeks now with about 1,600 steps a day. So far down 4 kg. Congrats on getting the weight down. Much better way of fasting than my long fasting, going for my walk. Trumpet, thank you for sharing with us. See, this is what I mean as well. It doesn't always have to be about super long fasts. You can find success doing something different if you continue working on your other weight loss levers outside of just straight up fasting for multiple days. Again, nothing wrong with having long fasts under your belt. That's how I got down to my goal weight. I just want people to understand that it doesn't have to be like that every single time. Did I get another GYSD with a $10 super chat? You guys are so kind and supportive with these super chats. GYSD with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much for the support. As always, says happy sunny ocean blue day. Why are you making me jealous that you're out enjoying vacation? No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're enjoying your time. I'm realizing vacations don't have to center around food. I've talked about this in the past. This is a great point. Enjoying the weather / beauty coast, or enjoying the weather / beauty. It costs 0 calories. Am I reading that right? I think so. 4 days left. 1 seafood night out planned. Congrats, GYSD. But GYSD makes a great point here. This is something that I realized on my last vacation when I was in Toronto for about a week. When I was in Toronto for a week with family and friends, there was a point where I told myself, well, I'm not going anywhere crazy. I did go to the Niagara Falls, but outside of that, I was just staying with family. I wasn't doing anything super crazy or super special. And on those days, I told myself, do I just have to eat like a maniac because I'm on vacation? And that's where it kind of like dawned on me when I told myself, why can't you just have this day to enjoy time with your friends and family? Why does it always have to be, like GYSD says, centered around food? It doesn't. And it doesn't mean that you can't if you want to. But because when I was on that 7-day vacation, there were 3 or 4 days where I ate a lot. But every day wasn't like that. I didn't turn all 7 days into just eat whatever, doesn't matter, you're on vacation type deal. And that was one of the ways I was able to really control my weight. I love that for you, GYSD. And again, thank you for the $10 donation. I appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you so much. Okay, let me scroll down here. Did I say hi, Margaret from Facebook? Hi, Margaret from Facebook. I can't remember. I don't. And I see Adeline. Did I say hi, Adeline? I should just have a list and just start checking them off. And I'm like, did I say hi to everyone? Shauna says, brogue at 43 hours today. I'm mid-refeed. Enjoy the refeed, Shauna. I did my workout today before eating. I will walk later too. I'm super hungry today, but 138 grams of protein in so far. You're getting that protein down. I love that. I love that. Hopefully that hunger will subside in a bit, but congrats at breaking at 43. Congrats on working on your other weight loss levers, like working out, going for a walk, keep prioritizing protein, keeping protein high. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you for sharing with us. Appreciate you. Look forward to hearing about your journey as always. Okay, let me scroll down here. Lori. Hi, Lori. I always see Lori in the comments on my videos as well. Don't think I don't read them, Lori, because I do. So I appreciate you dropping by. Lori says, I'm doing OMAD right now. Feels good. Then I'll do a 72 to 90 hour fast this weekend. That's great. That's great. I think, right, for you, Lori, you've been pretty much where you need to be. Maybe kind of just playing around with different fasts. You'll have to remind me, but Thank you for sharing with us, Lori. It's nice to see you here. Sheila, Ronnie, did I say hi to you? I think I did. Maybe I did. But hi, either way. Tech Over Tech says, I'm 41 hours into my second 60-hour fast for this week. So here's Tech Over Tech, who shared with us earlier this week that they've been gone for a minute. And it was hard to be accountable in that way, but eventually came back, said your piece, and then just got into the journey. And now working on a second 60-hour fast. The food noise is a little bit worse than the first time though, but I'm actually not hungry, which is pretty awesome. And this is a very hard moment for many people to be in. Sometimes you have to really double check with yourself. Am I truly hungry? Do I really have to eat right now? If I eat right now, if I don't eat right now, will I stop functioning like a human being? Most of the time, most of us are just fine. So I love that for you, Tech Over Tech. Let us know if you're able to get through that 60. I'd love to hear that. So keep us posted. Thank you for sharing. Duncan says, I need a fasting buddy. I want to start Tuesday. Hi, Duncan. My question for you is, first of all, everyone here should be a fasting buddy. Lean on everyone who's here. But my question for you is, why do you want to start on Tuesday? Why can't you start today? And I'm not saying that you have to push a long fast right now. Are you saying you want to push a long fast on Tuesday? Or is there a reason you want to start on Tuesday? Because my question for you is, why can't you just hit a timer and do a 16-hour fast or even a 14-hour fast and just be mindful of the way you're refeeding? Or it's an opportunity to get some steps in or hit the gym. Why are we starting on Tuesday instead of just starting right now? I mean, you do you. If you need to start on that day for whatever reason, that's fine. But eventually, I want people to understand that the journey never ends. Their journey has already started, and it's just about moving on. But I don't know you and your story well enough. This is just a little nudge from me to be like, hey, you can still hit a timer. You can still do a little something. And then when Tuesday comes, you'll have a couple days under your belt already. It's like a head start in what you're doing. If Tuesday you told yourself you're going to do a 3-day fast, a 5-day fast, or whatever that might be, couldn't you do OMAD right now and start working on building that fasting muscle to help you get to that point? Just putting that out there, Duncan. But thank you for sharing with us. Sean says, good evening all. I've completed 5 fasts. Congrats on 5 fasts. I'm 28 hours into my 6th 48-hour fast. I'm down 5.8 kg, almost 6 kg at this point since I started my last refeed. So your last refeed was a bit much. I might throw in a 65 or 72-hour fast to see how I feel. Keep us posted, Sean. When you say good evening, where are you from? Just wondering. Is it the UK at around this time? That's usually the time frame for evening. Just wondering. Just curious. Gami asks, hello, did you do your first long fast without salts? When I did my 11-day fast, I believe it was 11 or 12. I don't think I took anything at all, and it was miserable, and I had a tough time, but that was different. But when I do long fasts now, I don't take anything. I did take things at the very beginning. I think I might have had salt when I did my 11-day. It's been so long that I honestly can't remember. My first prolonged fast was in 2018. I did an 11-day fast. That was before I started doing rolling fast in 2019. And then when I started my YouTube channel in 2020. So I did take salts though at the very beginning, or salt and potassium and magnesium. But today I don't take anything when I do any kind of fast at this point. If I was to do something like something past 7 days, then maybe, but right now it's not something I think about. But for you, Gami, I mean, if you're considering it, why not just try it and see if it's helpful? Why would you not if you think it might be helpful for you? Just asking, just asking. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here. We're already 43 minutes into this live stream. I am scrolling down just to see if I can read a couple more here, see how people are doing. Hi, John Boston. I don't think I said hi to you. How's it going? JC says 1,000 calories, 50 grams of fiber today. That's a lot of fiber, JC. Do you have a number of grams of fiber you have per day? I haven't counted fiber in a minute. I do eat foods that are higher in fiber for the most part, I think. But lately, I've just really been prioritizing protein and keeping my calories in check. But thank you for sharing with us, JC. Hi, Elle. It's nice to see you. I see you in here. Hi, K-Betters. Welcome, welcome. Happy Bunny. Nice to see you. Hi, made it to the gym today. Happy Bunny on that gym streak. This is, again, somebody doing something outside of just fasting, going to the gym, working on cardio health, not prioritizing just one specific thing. Remember, your health and wellness journey should be applying every single lever that you can, whether it's your fasting, your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your mental health. All of these things play an integral part in your journey. Integral. I like that I had the big word in there. Planning on keeping the streak going till my vacation. That's great. Almost fasted today. Ate whole foods, but my mind couldn't handle it. I'd like to do ADF. I'll try again Saturday. And honestly, that's what it's about. It's just to keep going. I'm going to talk about that actually in a little bit, Happy Bunny, because this is the importance of accountability. I'm just going to keep pushing that as well, because to me, it definitely is super important. Okay, I'm just going to see if there are a couple other things in here so that I don't miss anything. Sorry if I do miss or I have missed anything at this point, but I just want to make sure. Cap Rising says, confession time. And here is a harder moment. So Cap Rising says, I've eaten 3 days in a row, but the last 2 days I had a quick refeed, hit the timer right after, had fast food today, but had a non-scale victory. Walking pace down to 1840 minutes per mile from 22. So a lot going on here. And, you know, I'm going to share this because I know Cap Rising and we work together, but like, I'm just going to say this to you, Cap Rising. You've done so much great work, especially pushing these longer fasts. Maybe your body's telling you it's time to maybe take a step back a little bit. And I love, though, that you are able to share this and realize that you still have work to do when it comes to just fasting. So as I read this, how many of you have broken down because you couldn't get through a long fast, and then you find yourself eating back-to-back days, but then outside of just eating back-to-back days, you stopped hitting a timer. You stopped paying attention to what your refeeds look like. You just ate whatever. You said, well, I'm not going to go for a walk anymore because I couldn't fast for such and such long period of time. But it's great to see that Cap Rising is paying attention to these other things. In the last 2 days, had a quick refeed, hit the timer right after, still working on cardio, working on other non-scale victories than just what the scale says, not just focusing on a super long fast, being kind to themselves, giving themselves grace. So thank you for sharing with us, Cap Rising. Cap Rising also says it's a bit of self-sabotage because I'm so close to the 170s, right? And that's the thing too. This is the psychological part that a lot of people don't address. Many people here as well have gone through this, getting down to a weight, their lowest weight in a long time, and then they find themselves sabotaging. for whatever reason, it could be, well, I got here, I should reward myself. And a lot of times we reward ourselves with food when maybe that isn't the best way to reward. But it could also be like being at such a low weight where whatever's happening in your head just causes you to do that. It's a learning moment. It's a time for reflection to be like, why am I really putting myself in this situation? But for you to show up, Cap Rising, I know it's just a matter of time before you break down into the 160s. So thank you for sharing with us. Again, it's a small blip on the radar. These moments are bound to happen. We all have good days and bad days. So thank you for sharing with us, Cap Rising. Aisha says, I broke my fast on day 50. So if any of you are doing long fasts, I mean, Aisha is the person to talk to as well, because Aisha was able to push a very, very long fast. 50 days is crazy, amazing and crazy. Well, not crazy and like insane, but you know what I mean. Sharika says, hi, everyone. Hi, Jerome. Today is a fasting day. I want to go buy a soup. Please tell me not to do it. Okay, so let's have this conversation, Sharika. You're working on a fast today. Your goal is to push the entire day. Here's the thing. Soup, if soup is what you want, maybe that's the ultimate last thing that happens. But are there other things you can do before you break? Can you have a 0-calorie drink? Can you take electrolytes? Can you try something like an iced coffee or a black coffee or an unsweetened iced tea, or even maybe an unsweetened tea or coffee with a pack of Splenda? Can you try bone broth? Maybe instead of soup, you keep the calories really low. Maybe it's something that's just super low cal with a lot of protein, or maybe it's just a piece of fruit, or like Tommy shared earlier, having a pickle spear. Other people have tried pickle juice. There are a lot of other things outside of that. And what I mean by that, though, Sharika, is maybe you need to set yourself up with a backup plan, and then a backup plan to the backup plan, and then another backup plan to that backup plan of that backup plan. And then if you've exhausted all your other options, then it's time to break. But then when you do break, you keep it clean. Is soup the cleanest thing that you can have? I don't know. Maybe it is. I have no idea what kind of soup you're craving. But all I'm trying to say is, can you still make a healthy, mindful decision instead of letting it completely unravel you? You'll have to keep us posted, Sharika. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm not going to say not to do it. Other people might tell you not to do it, but you should also ask yourself, are you truly hungry? If you don't eat anything right now, will you still be able to go to work? Will you still be able to function like a normal human being? If those answers to that is, yeah, I'll be fine, Jerome, it's just in my head, then you and I both know that you don't have to break at this point. So keep us posted, Sharika. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to try to read a little more if I can. Hi, Afia. It's nice to see you. Ronnie, I like that. Afia was on our autophagy live stream yesterday. It was great. Sharika, we can see your live chats. You're good. You're good. Peace to all says, hi, everyone. I'll be hitting the fast button tonight before bed. I'll go for it as long as I can. Peace to all. Keep us posted. Let us know. Thank you for sharing with us. All right, everyone. I'm going to probably start here. You're from South Africa, Sean. Okay, welcome, welcome. Okay, I've scrolled all the way down, so I might have missed a couple chats, but If there's something that you wanted to point out, something you wanted to say, please feel free to share again. I will try to post things up as I break into my nerd stats for today. So let's go ahead. Let's get into the nerd stats. Today is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. Today is day 718 of my journey. Has it been a perfect 718 days? No. If you think it has been, you're crazy in the bad way. It's ridiculous thinking, perfection. And this is actually something that I'm going to be bringing up today. So the reason that I always keep pushing on my journey is so that I remind myself that I cannot start over. I can't say, well, today wasn't good enough, so now I'm going to do day one. You know what? I'm just going to let this weekend pass by and then I'll start on Monday. I don't do that anymore because that is a slippery slope for me. Because I should always be trying to work on my journey all the time. And I'm not saying that I have to push hard all the time. I just have to show up for myself day after day after day. So I want to talk about accountability. I made slides on this because I really think it's important. Accountability is awareness. You can't change what you don't track. And I'm not saying that everyone has to track everything to the T. But think about that. If you are weighing yourself every day and tracking in that way, how can you find change on the days that you don't? And you know what I'm talking about, except when you don't. When you're on your game, when you're doing what you think you should be doing, when you're getting your fast in, when you're getting your walks in, of course you're going to step on the scale. You're going to weigh. You can't wait to see what that number says. But the moment you break a fast early, the moment you might eat a little too much, now tracking doesn't want to be a thing for you. Why? Because you don't want to be aware. You don't want to be accountable. I understand people who don't want to step on the scale ever, or they want to step on it once every week or once every other week, whatever frequency that might be. But you do that regularly to keep yourself on track. But there are other people who will only step when they feel like they're doing good and then walk away from it when they're not. The same goes for logging the way you eat. You can't change what you don't track. When you log food on every refeed, except when you don't. This is no different. Why would you log just on the good days? Why would you not log on the hard days? Because you're ready to throw the weekend away. You're ready to say, well, I'm just going to restart my nerd stats all over again. You see what this looks like for me. Even on the hard days, I show up. Even when I overeat, I show up. Accountability is awareness. The last thing I have here is when you're honest with your community, except when you're not. And this is a real life scenario here. When you're honest with your community, except when you're not. Look at what's happening in chat right now. This is a community. Look at everybody sharing what their journey looks like. This is community. Think about, and some of you might be watching right now who have done this. Some of you might be watching right now and have shared with us before, but are no longer sharing with us. Because you're honest with your community when you're doing well, except when you're not, when you can't show up for yourself. You might be in here trying to find motivation and trying to find inspiration when really what you should be doing is sharing the good with the bad. Why do you think I'll stand up here when I gain weight? Why do you think I will tell you when I'm struggling, when I overeat? Do you think I want to just share that and tell people, I don't know why I eat 6,000 calories, 7,000 calories. It isn't the most glorious thing to share with people, but do you just want me to tell you every time I do a 90-hour fast and lost weight on the scale? Maybe that's what you want, but I know just showing up on the good days doesn't help me. It doesn't evolve what I do. And here's the thing. Accountability is also honesty. Being accountable keeps you honest and it keeps you motivated. When you share your goals, when you share your hopes and wishes, right? It eventually stops becoming a hope because you are telling us, you are putting it out there, and it starts becoming a plan. It also doesn't mean that your plan is going to succeed, but you're putting it out there instead of just keeping it in your head. Maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. How long have you been planning and hoping for in that way instead of just doing? Accountability can be the flame that starts the match, or I'm saying the wrong words. You know what I mean? It can ignite the flame is what I'm saying. The last thing I have here, though, for honesty is being accountable can turn isolation into support. What do I mean by that? So when it comes to accountability, you can tell yourself all day, I'm going to do a 72-hour fast. I'm going to do a 90-hour fast. I'm going to fast for a week. I'm going to take 10,000 steps a day for the next however many days. I'm only going to eat this way. Sure, you can say that all day to yourself. But if you're putting no accountability to it, it's a very hard thing to do by yourself. It's a very hard thing to keep to yourself only, because the moment you don't want to do it, where does the accountability go? Can you hold yourself accountable still? Or is it easy to say, I'm going to do a 72-hour fast, 22 hours later, you don't want to do it, and you're like, well, no one knows anyway. Nothing's going to happen. And it's not that you deserve a punishment. It isn't that you should have bad things happen to you when you don't do what you say you're going to do. But when you put accountability outside of just yourself, it does turn into support. If you're looking for what that support looks like, all you have to do is look at this community. All you have to do is read the chat and see what people are saying. I understand it's hard to be accountable, especially when you find yourself failing, right? When you find that you're not as good as you think you are. It's hard to be honest. It's hard to be accountable in that way. But what if there was no judgment when it came to that? I was about to go to my next slide. That was my segue into it. But before I can even go into that, Uncle Reggie with a $10 super chat. Uncle Reggie, thank you for the support. Everyone's raining down $10 lately, or at least for today. Uncle Reggie, thank you for the $10 super chat. Uncle Reggie says, greetings to the greatest community in YouTube. I'm very flattered, Uncle Reggie. That really means a lot to me. I don't know if it is, but I do appreciate that. I just wanted to encourage everyone to stay the course and run your own race. Those are great words, Uncle Reggie. Right? We have to do what works for us. Like I said, we all have the same goals here. We all want to be healthy and happy. And if you think about it, those are probably two of the greatest goals that you should be continuing to work on yourself. I don't think there are two other goals that can trump that, right? Being healthy and happy. I prioritize my health more than anything else. I prioritize my happiness pretty high above there as well. But my health, nothing more than that for me when it comes to how am I going to get about my day? How can I stay the healthiest as possible? And even on days when I'm going to overeat or go out with friends, it's not that I don't have health on the top of my mind, but I'm being aware. I'm being accountable for my actions. Uncle Reggie, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And so I want to go to this last slide when I'm talking about accountability and how it's awareness, how accountability and being honest with yourself is important. Actually, do I have 2 more slides? I might. Here we go. Like I said earlier, it's hard to be honest, and it's hard to be accountable, and many of us avoid accountability. You know what avoidance looks like. I know many of you do who are in here. Jacques, I see you with the $5 super chat, and I appreciate you. I'll read this in a minute, but I want to get through this slide. I'm guilty of avoiding accountability. I've done it as recently as just a couple months ago when I ended up binging sometime in July. I didn't want to show up. I stopped posting videos on YouTube. I wasn't showing up on my live streams with no warning to anyone. That's because I was starting to slide, and I felt embarrassed. I felt guilty about gaining the weight, about the way I was eating. I felt very overwhelmed about me moving out of the country, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I was avoiding accountability. One of the reasons that many of us avoid accountability is because we fear judgment. I'm not going to lie to you. Of course, I didn't want to admit that I was struggling. I didn't want to admit it because I didn't want to see people talk shit in the comments and be like, there goes Jerome again. But it also made me realize this is what helps me. Every time I struggle, every time things are difficult for me, I realize every time I show up and I'm accountable and I'm honest and I stop avoiding, I come out the other side. So even when I gained almost 30 pounds back in July, in a matter of weeks, even after I binged, then I just came back on YouTube and I said, you know what? I'm just going to be accountable every day. I'm just going to show up every day. I'm just going to live stream every day. I don't have to polish any videos and make them perfect. I don't have to do things in a perfect way. I'm just going to show up every day. I don't even have to fast for long periods of time. I'm just going to do ADF. I'm going to try to control my calories. I'm going to get my steps in. I'm going to go lift weights. Here we are now, 90 some plus days later, and I just hit my lowest weight in over a year. That's accountability. I stopped avoiding. How many of you avoid? How many of you only share when you're having a good long fast under your belt? Because I see it. I see it in chat. People can say they're going to fast for however long, and maybe they get through it. And then after that, I don't see them again. And I'm not trying to shame people into that, right? That's not what I'm saying. But what I think is really important is when you're struggling, when you're having a hard time, just show up, share. That is how you will get out of the situation that you're in. I wish I could have told that to myself back in 2021 when I was gone for 2+ years. That's how bad I was avoiding it, to the point that I locked myself in my apartment, refused to go outside for 2+ years. The only time I would leave would be at like midnight and go to a 24-hour grocery store because I didn't want anyone to see me. I was even scared to see my neighbors because I didn't want them to see how much weight I've gained. I didn't see my mom for 2+ years. My mom had to call the police and do a wellness check on me. That's how bad it got. That's why accountability is so important for me. And if any of you are new here and you don't know that story, well, that's how bad it got for me. Avoiding delays progress. For many of us, you end up staying in the same all or nothing loop. You try really hard, and then the moment it doesn't work, then you just give up and you start avoiding again. Accountability is owning your struggles, is saying, yes, I struggle with this. Yes, this is hard for me. Yes, I am not good when it comes to this. And you know what? I know what that's like, because when I share my struggles, there's a small percentage of people that wants to talk shit. And that's the part I'm afraid of one or two people who likes to hide behind a keyboard because they think they can say whatever they want. They don't know my journey. They don't know me. They could never do what I'm doing right now. Never, never. And I say that because I know it. A lot of it is projection. I've realized that it doesn't matter how hard I'm struggling. It doesn't matter. I want to be accountable. I want to show up. People can say whatever they want. All it takes for me is to just block their ass, because I don't have to think about it. I don't need that kind of negativity. I don't need somebody telling me what they think I should be doing, because they have never been in my shoes. They don't know what my hunger is like, or how I feel, or anything like that. They don't know the shit I've been through. And even if they think they do, they don't. They don't. I'm not saying you have to come here in chat and pour your heart out. I'm not saying that. There are ways to be accountable that doesn't have to be on the internet. All I'm saying is I'm giving people the opportunity to share if they want to. I'm giving people the opportunity to have a safe space if they want to not feel judged because somebody says you shouldn't eat like that. That's not the way to fast. That's not the way to exercise. That's not the way to lose weight. I'm tired of that shit. We all know what health and happiness looks like. Yes, there are different ways of getting there, and that's okay. All I'm saying is when it comes to accountability, you don't have to use me. You don't have to use this community. I'm just telling you, if you're watching this right now, find what that accountability looks like for you. Maybe it's with a friend. Maybe it's with other family. Maybe it's going to therapy. Maybe it's finding a support group. You don't have to book a coaching session with me. You don't have to share in here. I just want you to figure it out. And that's really, here's the thing about what I've been doing for this amount of time now. For me, to see people succeed, to see people realize, oh yeah, I don't have to follow it this way. I can figure my journey out. All I have to do is change this and tweak this and be accountable. When I see people figuring that out, it brings me so much joy, because I can only imagine when I think about the shit I've been through, I can only imagine the shit other people have been through, and maybe the freedom they found from what they've learned. That's why when sometimes, like, because I do get sensitive, especially when people talk shit, because they don't know what I've been through. But at the same time, the one thing that always gives me peace at the end of the day is nobody can take what I have done for myself away from me. Nobody can take that away from me. People can say anything they want, but what I've accomplished, nobody can take that shit away from me. And that's what keeps me going. I mean, of course, everyone in here and everyone in the comments, like, I know that 99.9% of people are with me and they support me in that way. Anyway, I just want you to figure your shit out. I say that as a genuine human being, is We all deserve to be healthy and happy. We all deserve that. All of us deserve that. We shouldn't expect less from that. The last thing I had here is accountability is owning your struggles. It's about taking back control. I think a lot of my coaching sessions lately is talking to people about control and if they've been able to find control in what they're doing, or do they have more control in what they're doing? Because your issues with whatever it might be shouldn't have a hold on you. You should be able to start finding control, no matter how small those steps might look like. So, that's all I got with that. I'm barely into any of my nerd stats. I felt really, even though I didn't have a ton of energy today, or at least at the very beginning of this live stream, I felt like I wanted to share that because sometimes I don't think people understand the importance of accountability. I didn't even realize I had another slide here, so I'll go through this really quick. It still comes down to imperfect consistency. Consistency is greater than perfection. Consistency will trump, will beat, will destroy perfection every single time. Change doesn't happen because you're perfect. Hear this out again. Change doesn't happen because you're perfect. It happens because you show up. Because every day that you show up for yourself is an opportunity for you to learn from yourself. When you turn away, when you walk away, when you give up, you don't learn anything from that. You don't take the time to understand why you did what you did, why you stopped your fast early, why you ate the way you did, why you're self-sabotaging, why you didn't go out for your workout. Instead, I don't want to deal with this. I don't even want to think about it right now. I just want to go order Grubhub, DoorDash. I just want to go pick up food. You're just cycling through it. You don't have to do everything right. You just have to do something. That's where imperfect consistency plays a big role. It's not about being perfect. It's just about doing something to be consistent with it. My wins, like I was talking about, they're not from perfection. Yeah, I pushed hard many times, but my refeeds weren't perfect. The way I exercised wasn't perfect. I didn't always sleep well. And obviously, the way I ate isn't ideal. It wasn't ideal even at the beginning. But the wins that I've gotten, it's from showing up, even when things are hard. So those are my stats. No, those aren't just my stats. Those are just my slides. I probably need to really start flying through the other slides here. And I'll do that right now. The last 92 days, I have been live streaming. When I talk about how I've been able to pick myself back up because I've been streaming every day and showing accountability, I've been doing that through imperfect consistency. Oh my goodness. And I forgot about the super chats because I see this peaceful one with another super chat. Jacques, I didn't forget about you. Okay, I might have for a second there because I was talking about my slides. Jacques with a $5 super chat. Jacques says 88 hours fasted, down 10 pounds from my last refeed. Congrats, Jacques, on being 10 pounds down. I'm refeeding today. I don't want to do the same mistake like last time eating back to back. Jacques, first of all, it's not a mistake if you eat back to back. Let's get that out of the way. If you eat back-to-back days, all that means for you is if you're eating back-to-back days, maybe that second day when you eat again, you keep it cleaner. You eat less calories. You keep the refeed short. It doesn't have to be bad in that way. Do not call it a mistake. Look at it as an opportunity to learn from what you're doing on your journey. Jacques, congrats on 88 hours fasted. Congrats on being 10 pounds down. Continue to show up for yourself. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate the support. Miss Peaceful One also with a $5 super chat. I see why you're a little tired. You put work into these slides. Preach Chicago. I love that you use that from Tommy too. I really like that. Miss Peaceful One, thank you for the $5 super chat. Sometimes I get into my feelings, and today was one of them. I don't know why I didn't have the particular energy earlier today, but I feel like I got what I needed to say out there, so I'm happy with that. Miss Peaceful One, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you as always. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Uncle Reggie also with a $5. Guys, Uncle Reggie with a $5 super chat. Uncle Reggie, thank you for an additional super chat. Uncle Reggie with a $5 super chat says, pass that collection plate. Jerome is feeding the people. I appreciate that, Uncle Reggie. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the support. I'm just trying to share my knowledge with oh my goodness. Afia just donated a huge $20 super chat. Reggie, I was just trying to say, or Uncle Reggie, I was just saying that I'm just trying to share my knowledge from what I've learned, what I've experienced. And if I'm able to pass that to other people so they're able to figure their journey out, more power to them. That's all I'm trying to do. Afia with a $20 super chat. Oh my goodness, such a huge super chat. Thank you for the generous donation. Afia with a $20 super chat says, I appreciate you very much, Jerome. That goes both ways. I appreciate you sharing your story with us yesterday as well. When you get a flat tire, you don't just slash the other 3 tires. That's a great analogy. That's such a great way of looking at it. I mean, that's the same thing. Actually, I heard someone say when your phone's on low battery, you don't just throw the phone out and try to get a new one, right? You recharge it. So don't let a setback ruin your future progress. Dust yourself off and stay the course. Your future self will thank you. That's so well said, Afia. Thank you for the huge, generous donation. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You guys, Shauna with a $5 super chat that says you're putting the truth out today, or you are putting out the truth today. I try. I mean, I feel like I say the same message every day, but maybe there's always different ways to put it out there, or at least to get the point across to people who might not have it click in their head just yet. Shauna, thank you for the $5 super chat. It's always good, but you've worded it so concisely today. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you all. Thank you all for the generous donations today. Babita with a €6 super chat. Pound, that's euro, right? I think it's euro. Babita with a €6 super chat. Hopefully that's the correct one. Thank you so much. You guys, there's too many. I'm getting jealous of everyone donating. Let's spam Jerome with donations. Listen, I'm on like slide 3 right now, or 4. I have a coaching session still. Thank you for the €6. Thank you for the €6 super chat, Babita. I appreciate you. And I mean, for people who are not part of our autophagy live streams, Babita has been very diligent about sharing her progress and her journey as well. So thank you for being accountable. Thank you for sharing with us. It's helpful to so many people. So thank you again. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, I need to get into my stats here. In the last 92 days, I ended up practicing imperfect consistency, ended up dropping the 30 pounds that I had gained. And I've done a lot of it just doing different rounds of ADF, but also longer fasts, shorter fasts, eating back-to-back days, eating a lot of calories every now and then, but still showing up for myself. I completed 2 rounds of ADF yesterday, or I completed my 2nd round of ADF yesterday. I'm currently working on a 3rd round of ADF. I'm currently 18-ish hours into my fast at the moment. And I wanted to share with you all what my refeed looked like yesterday. My goal was no different. Yesterday, it was to keep the calories under 3,000 and to keep the protein above 190. Now, I actually do not have full video of my refeed yesterday like I normally do. If you all saw, I put a new video out yesterday of my refeed. I might just start making all my refeed videos that way. So I just took screenshots of what I ate yesterday and I'll just walk it through you. We'll go through this kind of quickly because we're already an hour and a half in, but yesterday I refed. I broke after almost 46 hours. And let me get the right photo up here. These are just random screenshots. Some of them look awful, but yesterday I broke my 46-hour fast with shrimp cocktail. Had some cocktail sauce with it. Yes, I did eat the shrimp with the tail on. If any of you are wondering, yes, I will make a video on this so you can watch it in full later. Hopefully I make the video. We'll see. Afterwards, I broke with Brussels sprouts. You all know I eat this on every single refeed. Eric, I see you in here. Welcome with the Brussels emoji. I did break with shrimp and cocktail sauce first because I wanted extra protein, had Brussels sprouts. I love this screen cap. Honestly, I was looking for screen caps that just looked silly. Not all of them, but I tried to put what I could on here. So that was about a pound of Brussels sprouts. Afterwards, I had salmon and mushrooms. This is a typical refeed that I have. I don't have salmon as often, but it was really good, seasoned pretty well. Mushrooms added a ton of garlic to it. So I ate about a pound of salmon. And then I ended up making another huge bowl of, this time it was salmon, tomatoes, mushrooms, corn, and rice. And I'm just going to have to say this combination, I will never do this combination again. Yes, chicken and rice and tomatoes and corn, very good. Salmon and corn and mushrooms and it wasn't, I still ate it all, but I will not do that again. I also realized on this, it's probably, no, you could probably see it here. If you look at the bottom left corner of my lip, I don't know if that was like from Brussels sprouts or whatever. It looks like I had it the entire refeed. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do a refeed video if that's there the entire time, but I'll think about it. Afterwards, I had cottage cheese and pineapple. I still had pineapple that was left over, so I wanted to make good use of it. After that, that's such an awful photo. I don't know why. Sometimes when I see these screen caps, I laugh at it and I'm like, we're all human. We're never perfect. And this is me showing that. I ended up having a protein bar. It's a protein bar I used to eat back in the day, and I still had some that I have not finished. One of the reasons I stopped eating those protein bars is because they're so calorie dense. It's like 300 calories for one, has 20 grams of protein, but it's like they're good, kind of. So I had a protein bar. Something was just telling me I needed to eat it. And then I ended up having dessert. And this is, Eric says, Jerome. Oops. Eric says, Jerome, you were saving some for later. The food that was on my lip. For dessert, this actually was not pumpkin pie this time. And actually, as you're looking at this, this was actually a different mix. I hate to admit this, but I think I'm getting tired of eating the sugar-free Jell-O. This was sugar-free Jell-O, but this was the cheesecake flavor. I wanted something different because I thought maybe it would change it. I ended up adding PB2, like a peanut butter flavor or a peanut butter like dry powder that makes it taste like peanut butter. So it had a different flavor. I added protein milk, protein powder, and actually what you're looking at aren't Biscoff cookies. I know they look like Biscoffs, but I actually bought butter cookies. You know those Salerno butter cookies? They're like the old school ones. I ate that because I really wanted something different. It was okay. The butter cookies were good, but I might be getting tired of the pudding and I need to probably find a different dessert. So all of that, yesterday's refeed was under 3,000 calories. That's a good thing. But of course, yesterday I ended up eating, I think, 15 more cookies, or at least 3 more servings of cookies. So it ended up pushing my calorie count up. I am stuck in this mode right now where at the end of my refeed, I will end up eating cookies. It's now become a habit. I'm pretty sure of it, because I was like, maybe it was the Biscoffs and I just can't stop eating the Biscoffs. But here I was just eating another additional serving of butter cookies. But anyway, just FYI, if you look at the very bottom there, it pushed my calorie count up to around 3,400. Still not the worst thing in the world. Still kept it at a reasonable calorie count. It wasn't under the 3,000 that I was hoping for, but I will take 3,400 over 6,000, over 8,000. And if you look at my protein, way above my 190 minimum at 254. A big reason was because of the shrimp. Actually, adding shrimp, I should probably just start adding shrimp in more regularly, because it's just an easy way to get additional protein in. Uncle Reggie with a $2 super chat. Uncle Reggie says, I need Jerome's cookie plug. Uncle Reggie, you just go to the grocery store. You'll be fine. Uncle Reggie, thank you for the $2 super chat. Hopefully you'll be able to find those cookies that you're looking for. Appreciate the support as always, Uncle Reggie. Thank you so much. Okay, let me continue on here. My last 10 refeed weights, if you look at the very bottom here, after yesterday's 3,400 calorie refeed, it pushed me up 5.2 pounds. So I gained 5 pounds. And if you look at my other refeeds, they're usually around that same amount. I usually will gain anywhere between 4 and 6 pounds after every refeed. Does it mean that I gained 4 to 6 pounds of fat? No, it doesn't. A lot of that is water. A lot of that is waste, right? And one of the reasons I know that is if you look at the right, highlighted in green, that is where I will drop weight even after like a 25-ish, 30-ish hour fast. And I will lose the same weight or around the same weight that I gained, sometimes even more. Now, did I also lose 4 to 6 pounds of fat? No. Again, it's water weight, messing with the scale. So don't let the scale get to your head in that way. I know for me tomorrow, I'll probably drop the majority of that weight again, and I'll continue moving on because I'm not so focused on the number on the scale, and I'm more interested on, am I losing additional body fat? Am I keeping my muscle? Am I maintaining it? Am I building more muscle? My refeed stats over the last 44 refeeds has been around 4.5 hours now. That number has been dropping lately because my last refeeds have been, actually the last 3 of 4 have been under 2 hours at this point. Average calories per refeed around 4,000, still higher than where I want it to be, but I'm not going to trip about it. I'm not. I don't usually say trip. I think it's seeing Tommy. I believe Tommy said that last time. Anyway, my average protein per refeed around 200, which I'm very happy with, but it's more than just fasting. In the last 92 days, I have been recording my steps on average. And in that 3-month time period, I'm above 15,000 steps per day. Yesterday's step count, almost 16,000, way above goal. Strength training, I lift the following morning after a refeed. Today was no different. Lifted heavy at the gym, got a good workout in, because why not take advantage of the calories that I ate last night? I do abide by something called the 80-20 rule. What I mean by that is 80% of the time I am fasting. 80% of the time, if I am refeeding, I'm keeping my calories in check. 80% of the time, I'm getting my steps in. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing all the good things I'm supposed to be doing. But I also have 20% days. If you ever hear me talking about 20% days, those are the days when I'm going out with friends. I'm going to a bar. I'm going to a party. I'm going on vacation. But if you look at the way these numbers are split up. 78 of the last 92 days have been 80% days. That's currently an 85-15 split because I've only had 14 20% days, meaning that in the last 92 days, in the last 3 months, I have a 20% day where I'm eating 6,000 calories about once a week. And it's the reason I'm able to keep the weight off is because of this 80-20 rule that I apply for myself. Obviously, it's more than just 80-20. I do a lot more than just that, but just to give you a general overlook on how that works. If we look here at, I don't like how that blocks that, so we'll do this again. If you look at my goal for the month of October, it's not to fast for a certain amount of time. It's not to be a certain weight on the scale. I am actually trying to put myself at a big enough caloric deficit to lose 3 pounds of body fat. In the first week of October, if you look at where it's highlighted in yellow, that is where I'm off my calorie pace. You'll see every single day, I'm trying to put myself at a caloric deficit of 339 calories. That number adds up every single day. Where it's highlighted in green is where I am above pace. On week number 2, you'll see that most of the days here, I was above pace. The only times it doesn't go at pace is if I have a big refeed day where it pulls that number back. Luckily, I'm fasting enough to keep that pace steady. Week 3, no different. Week 3, I did have a 6,500 calorie day that really put my calorie pace off, but I've been able to recover. Today, I'm a little behind that pace after last night's refeed, but tomorrow I will be way above that again because today is a complete fasting day for me. I should be able to hit my pace of losing 3 pounds of body fat by the end of the month. Okay. This is a very long talking session for me because of those slides, but I feel like it was well worth it. It's time for Fit Check. If you are wondering what Fit Check is, that's where I stand back here. That's where I show you what I look like physically. Today, I am feeling quite bloated. I'm up about 5 pounds. And I do these fit checks so that I am accountable. I do these fit checks so that whether I'm feeling lean or bloated or feeling a little fat or whatever you want to call it, it's my way to be accountable. This is why the accountability is so important for me. Now, before I begin Fit Check here, where am I? Oh, here we go. Everything looks a little different because I added all those other photos from earlier today. I have been overweight my entire life. As a child, and you can see people throwing the Fit Check emoji up here. In my adolescent years, in my teenage years with the blonde highlights, in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s. I have been overweight, obese, and even morbidly obese for the majority of my life. I'm 44 years old right now, and it isn't like I just gained that weight in the last 5 years. That has literally been me my entire life. Now, why do I share all of that? Because I am talking to you right now with that weight lost. But not only lost, but I've kept it off now for almost 2 years. I'm 12 days shy, I believe, of 2 years on my journey. I don't take medication. I'm not on diet pills. I have never had GLP-1. I'm not on Ozempic or Zepbound or anything like that. I've never had weight loss surgery. I've lost all of this weight naturally. Through fasting, through working on good, healthy habits, through being accountable, showing up for myself every day. And I'm not saying that you need to stop your medication. I'm not saying that you shouldn't consider GLP-1 or weight loss surgery. You need to do what's right for you. Your journey is your journey. My journey is mine. But I say this for anybody here who feels like they have lost all hope, saying, well, I'm already such and such age. I can't lose I mean, I say this to you again as someone who's middle-aged. I'm 44. I'm going to be 45 in less than 2 months. And I'm able to not just lose the weight, but keep it off for this long period of time. So if you have felt like you've lost hope, maybe there's still a chance. Maybe all it takes is changing your habits, practicing something different, being accountable in that way. So, okay, we'll go ahead. We'll do fit check. I'm currently wearing this small adult shirt from Japan. Japan shirts, or at least this one from Japan, comes a lot smaller than regular small adult shirts. And these pants I'm wearing, I keep forgetting because I keep saying I need to check what size pants these are. These are boys' pants. They're size 14, everyone. I don't know if any of you know how big a size 14 pant is, but that's what I currently wear. So, forgot. We got to raise this up. Okay. That's good enough. That'll work. You can see most. Okay. Front shot, side shot, right, rear, side. And that's pretty much fit check. Like I said, I am up in weight. I'm about 5+ pounds up. I am feeling a little bloated today. I do wear a compression shirt underneath. And like I said, this is probably a combination of belly fat and loose skin. So I know that this squeaky chair. I know that I still have some body fat, excess body fat that I can lose, which is why I'm trying to keep myself at a big enough calorie deficit to push for the month of October. So yeah. I see the Mr. Squeaks or Mr. Squeaky, or I can't remember the name now, Mr. Squeaky, the chair emojis come out. So that's pretty much fit check. I will take some time now and do Q&A. So if any of you have questions, please feel free to ask them now. I will answer what I can. In the meantime, while some of you might be asking questions, and also it might not be questions. If there's something that you wanted to share, please feel free to share. I'll put it up on the screen. If it's, if it's worth talking about, everything's worth talking about, but you know what I mean. So please feel free to share. In the meantime, while you might be putting things up or asking questions, if any of you are looking for help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, if you're looking for an accountability partner or an accountability coach, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We can put a game plan and a strategy together that works for you. Remember, most of us know how to lose weight. I don't think you need me to tell you that fasting is going to help you drop excess body fat. I don't think you need me to tell you that. You know that. You don't need me to tell you that eating less and eating cleaner is going to help you lose weight, because you know that. Same goes for cardio. Same goes for strength training. Same goes for good sleep. We know how to do these things. But maybe what you're looking for is exactly what I've been talking about today, is accountability. If you're looking for an accountability partner, an accountability coach, if you are wanting to show up for yourself on a regular basis, maybe doing something like this might be right for you. Finallyfasting.com, if that's something you're interested in. You could also check the site out for things like stickers like these. I don't have a hat on me, but someone actually put an order in yesterday, and it reminded me to maybe mention merch there as well. Remember that merch most likely isn't going to last forever, especially when I move. So I'm not saying you have to rush. I'm just putting it out there. I don't think it's going to be up there for much longer. So just FYI. Anyway, finallyfasting.com for that. If any of you want to support me I can never say that part right. If any of you want to support me in an additional way, you can go to the link in the description of this live stream and you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. What is that? It is a membership on YouTube. If you notice, there are people in chat who have green next to their name. They have a little emoji like this next to their name, that's because they're part of the Finally Fasting fam. You'll get all of that. You get to use custom emoji like some people have been using here in chat today. You get to be on the, you'll get your name on the intros of my live streams. And if you join our higher tier, which is the autophagy group, you can join us on our second Wednesday live streams where it's not just me on camera. Other people hop on, other people share their story. Other people have nerd stats of their own that they put in every week. And we all look at that and we all share that and we all have our individual goals. So if that's something you're interested in, please feel free to take a look. Again, you can find that in the link of the description of this live stream. Okay, so I think I said what I needed to say. I'm going to scroll back up here. L with a $5 super chat. L, thank you for your continued support as always. L with a $5 super chat says, I heard we're sliding cash across the table. I wouldn't call it that, but L, that's so funny. L, thank you so much. L saying this and Uncle Reggie saying, passing the collection plate. Thank you for the support as always. Thank you all so much for all the donations today. I appreciate you so much, El. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to scroll up here. I'm just going to see if there's anything I might have missed. And if you did ask a question before, or you did say something earlier and I didn't get a chance to answer it, please feel free to ask again. I will try to read through it. Okay. Willis says, it's amazing how small of size you wear, Jerome. I think I still would wear slightly larger once I get down to the 140s. Is that your goal, Willis? Is that where you're aiming for? I mean, I've thought about just wearing a size up because I've been wearing some shirts that are like super, super slim, but I don't know. I said this yesterday because I was wearing a shirt that was super slim that was like hugging my belly and you could see that. And it's like, I don't know. I feel okay with that. I told myself that's just who I am right now. But it's right. I want you to be comfortable too. So it's just different. But anyway, what's your goal weight, Willis? Let me know. Aisha, and I'm looking for Margaret now. Aisha and Margaret. Aisha says, what time do you plan on live streaming tomorrow, Jerome? Margaret says the same thing. What time are you live streaming tomorrow? Here's the thing. Did I remember yesterday? I was like, I can't live stream in the morning because I have an eye doctor appointment. Well, I looked at my calendar wrong. My eye doctor appointment is tomorrow. It still worked out because I ended up having to schedule an earlier coaching session. So it worked out fine. But tomorrow, I do have my eye doctor appointment. And so tomorrow will probably be around the same time, actually, now that I'm looking at it. So I'll say anywhere between 1 and 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. It could be a little later, maybe a little earlier, but I doubt it because I think my eye doctor appointment's around 11-ish, something like that. So thank you for asking, Margaret from Facebook and Aisha. Okay. Race Car says, do you use the BMI chart ranges as your benchmarks? No. I don't even look at the BMI chart, if I'm being honest. For me, I'm more interested in like what my DEXA scan shows or what it showed and what it is going to show when I go back again for my 2-year anniversary of doing this, being on my journey for 2 years. I honestly think that for me, what's more important is how I look in the mirror. If I actually can see excess body fat, to me, I look at that more than anything else. I mean, also my blood markers. So as long as my blood work is good every 6 months, I don't worry so much in that regard. But I know I have excess body fat to lose. So I don't really look at a BMI chart. I also think that might be off for me because of my muscle or because of me lifting weights. But yeah, I can't even remember the last time I looked at it to see if I was in quote unquote a good range. So, but if it's a good benchmark for you, at least to give you an idea of maybe where you should be at, I mean, it's worth taking a look and seeing if that's a number you want to aim for. Victor says, hey, Jerome, I keep telling myself I'll start, but I keep on refeeding after 24 hours. How did you do it in your first days? So Victor, this is common question. A lot of people wonder how I was able to keep going. And I'll say it like this. One of the reasons I was so successful in what I did was because I was accountable. That's exactly what this live stream is about today. One of the reasons I was able to push 3-4 day fasts longer than that over and over and over again for nearly 5 months is because I had a platform where I was telling the entire world. For me, that was motivation. For me, that was accountability. For you, I don't know what that looks like. If you are trying to pass 24 hours, I'll say it like this. This is also another thing that I've said. Victor, if you told me, or here's a better way. Victor, if you knew you had to talk to me tomorrow at the same time every day, would that help you push your fast? If you knew you had to talk to me and tell me what your weight was, where your fasting time was, what you refed with if you broke early, what your steps look like every day, would that help you on your journey? If the answer to any of that is yes, then maybe it's accountability that you need. Maybe it's accountability that you're looking for. But the other thing I'm going to tell you as well is if you're not able to push a longer fast right now, what does your diet look like? Are you eating cleaner? Or are you just throwing away the day and then just saying, I'm going to start tomorrow, I'm going to start tomorrow, I'm going to start tomorrow? Because if that's what you're doing, my first piece of advice to you is to stop that cycle and to start working on other things right now outside of just fasting, because maybe right now that's not the place you need to be in. I'm not saying you shouldn't fast for a long period of time. I'm just saying that if you end up breaking early, then it's time to work on the diet and then go again and see if you can push longer than 1 day. It's also about building your fasting muscle. If you can go 20 hours, you can go 20 hours and 15 minutes. If you can go 21 hours, you can go 22 hours. You have to build that as well. So I don't know what it looks like for you. This is something that actually probably requires a longer conversation because I don't know what goes through your head. I don't know if you emotionally eat. I don't know if you are practicing the all or nothing lifestyle, but you'll have to keep us posted. I can't remember if I've seen you in here before, Victor, but thanks for the question. Thank you, Deja. Deja says, I came across the first live back from your disappearance and it made me so emotional. If any of you are wondering what that live looks like, it's on my channel. It's from November 6th, 2023, which is why my 2-year anniversary is coming up. November 6th, 2025 will be me doing this for 2 years. Well, no, I take that back. That live stream was on November 5. So I live streamed the day before I started my journey. I told everyone what my plan was going to be because I was accountable, right? Instead of just hiding it, I went on, I shared, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move on. Thanks for that, Deja. The change in confidence, mindset, and how much you've grown is amazing. Even your voice is different. Is it really? I feel like my confidence is different. I have a hard time watching myself, so I try not to watch too much, but sometimes when I do and I watch like old clips when I'm like editing a video, I'm like, yeah, it's a lot different then than it is now. But the thing that's important too to anyone who's watching this is that confidence where I'm at today didn't happen overnight. It happened from showing up over and over and over again. It happened from learning how to eat better, failing, right? Failing forward, learning from myself, growing from myself. Deja also says, you're unrecognizable in a good way. And the way this community has grown because of you is so amazing. You've changed lives just by showing up. Thank you for that, Deja. I was like reading that and trying not to be emotional in that way, but I appreciate that. I will say though, this is more than just me, right? I want you to understand that like when you show up as well, when anyone in here in chat shows up day after day after day, they're showing everyone else that this is what it's going to take for many of us is accountability. So you're very welcome and I appreciate the kind words, but I have said this before, I couldn't even get to this point without all of you as well. A lot of my success is because I am inspired by people saying, we got this, you got this, we support you. And that's why I'm always trying to give back as well. It's also why I'm really big about how fasting is free. I feel like there are people who are probably spending way too much money on, I don't know what it is that's out there. I have looked, and again, I've looked at coaching, I think, that other people offer, and sometimes it's wild to me how much people charge for coaching. Again, you do you. Sometimes I can't believe it. And I'm like, what if I just shared this for free? Am I throwing everyone's model off? But like I said, I believe everyone has a right to be healthy and happy. And if I can teach people how to get out of what they're in right now, like there's nothing more fulfilling for me than something like that. So thank you. Thank you, Deja. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm scrolling down here. 140 is your goal. Willis, keep me posted. You and I, keep me posted with where you're at. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I'm pretty much at that point now. I'm right around the 140 mark because I've now hit the 139 point something over the last couple of days. Raza, hi Raza, welcome. Found your channel a few days ago. Amazing progress. Thank you so much. Do you plan to fast long-term or eventually move back to balanced meals? So Raza, the answer to this is I don't know. I have no idea. But if you've watched my journey, or I know you're new to it, so maybe you haven't watched all my content, my journey has changed over time. It went from fasting 90 hours, 120 hours, 160 plus hours, down to 65 hours, down to where I'm at now, which is around 42 hours. There are days where I will eat back to back. There are days where I will go on vacation. And I am continually learning about myself. So I'll tell you this, I'll at least give you what my planned future looks like. Hopefully, I will get to a place where I will be good body weight wise. I'll be at least in a very optimized place with body fat where I feel like I don't need to lose any more weight or body fat. What that will look like though is I will probably be unable to fast any longer than maybe OMAD. But I know I will still be eating in high volumes every now and then. So my ultimate goal, the way I think about it today, is maybe I'll do OMAD 5 days a week and I'll fast 2 days of those 7 days or whatever, you know, how that works out. That is kind of what I envision, but I don't know if that's going to happen. As far as eating balanced meals, here's the thing. I eat in such high volumes that even the thought of eating twice a day does not sound like it would ever work for me, because I don't think I like eating 3,000 calories in one meal. I mean, for me to eventually eat 2,300 calories in one meal sounds difficult. I have to be able to do that first. I've been able to do it now a couple of times, but it's not easy for me. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I really don't know what that's going to look like. And this is also just a reminder for anyone watching this. This is why the journey never ends, because you will always have to figure out what your next move is. Some people might be running on cruise control. Some people might not have the same issues that I have when it comes to volume control with food. But for me, I know it will almost always be a struggle. But I'm in a place right now, today, even eating the way I'm eating right now, I would be happy with this if I could just do this every other day. I'm pretty happy eating every other day. There are days that I wish I could eat back-to-back days, but I still have goals. And I know that I'm putting myself at a big enough caloric deficit to get to where I want to be. So thank you, Raza. Thank you for the kind words. Thanks for the question. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm just going to see if there's any other questions here. Victor, it takes a lot to say this. It takes a lot to share this. Victor says, ever since then, I've been guilty, and that's why I haven't been coming here. I see how far I would have been, but I'm ready now. It makes me so happy to hear that. It makes me so happy for you to maybe tell yourself, it's time to give myself some grace. It's time to work on things outside of just fasting alone. And Victor, if it's helpful for you, I would continue reading chat and seeing how people have practiced something like imperfect consistency to help them find success. I love this for you because maybe you're in a place now where you're like, yeah, I just got to show up. I just need to show up for myself. I need to show accountability where I might not have shown it before. I mean, you can even see it in the videos that I put out. I don't want to, I was going to say, I don't want to call out Eric here, but Eric literally, I don't know how long Eric's been doing it for. Eric literally puts a comment every day and shares his journey on what he's doing. And sometimes that level of accountability is what some of us need to find success. So again, Victor, it takes a lot to share that. I appreciate you sharing that. I really look forward to hearing from you and seeing what your journey is like. So thank you again. Afia, yeah, Afia says you're totally right about the prices. It's insane. I mean, that's kind of what I've seen. So, okay, everyone, let me. Willis says 184.3 today, down 21 pounds from the end of October, but still working back to previous range last year of low 160s. You'll get there, Willis. You'll get there. You definitely will. Keep us posted. Oh, end of August is what Willis says. No worries. Keep us posted. Congrats, though. Congrats on putting the work in still. I think that's it. I was seeing Eric saying here, my standard plan on maintenance is 65-hour fast of some sort, clean or dirty, then ADF or OMAD for the rest of the week. A lifestyle, not a diet. That's a really good call out. Many of us sometimes I'll get comments and people are like, so you're going to do this for the rest of your life? It's like, yeah, I am. I mean, if it hasn't been obvious, people who've been watching me for 2 years, my average fasting time over the last 2 years is still over 48 hours. That number will probably continue to drop as I get closer and closer to goal weight and eat more often, but fasting will always be a part of what I do. And I will always remind people that everybody fasts. People look at this and think that it's crazy sometimes, especially people who are not familiar with fasting. And it's like, you sleep. You're literally fasting for 6 to 8 hours, if not longer. How many people wake up in the morning and they're not even hungry? And then they'll start eating lunch, 12, 16 hours fasted. The only difference between you and me is I fast for longer. So yeah, like I always tell people, this will always be a part of my lifestyle. You also don't see me struggling. It's not like I can't function throughout the day. I operate really well fasted. And I know a lot of people who are here do the same. So, okay, I think that's it for me today. This was a very long live stream. I hope many of you found a lot of inspiration from today. I know I say a lot of the same things, but I also, and sorry, I'm looking down here because I'm like prepping to end the live stream, but I say a lot of the same things, but sometimes it's a good reminder of why we're here and why we do what we do. It isn't just about fasting. It never has been. It might have been for me at the very beginning, because before it was like, okay, fast for 4 days, eat 6,000, 7,000 calories. And maybe that's something that could have lasted. I don't want to say it would have lasted forever, because even eating 6,000, 7,000 calories was still going to keep dropping me in weight. But, you know, my evolution of my diet, my fasting has changed because I continue to be accountable. Remember this as you are working on your journey. Remember this the next time you have a bad day and you just want to turn around and not show up. Remember this if you're somebody who has told me what you were going to do on live stream in the comments. Remember this. Remember the day that you told me you were going to do X, Y, and Z, and then remember the day that you didn't. And instead of saying, Jerome, I didn't do this, but here's what I did instead. Or Jerome, I didn't do this and I'm struggling, but I'll try to keep hitting the timer. I welcome you to come back and share. I mean, I've been here long enough to know what it's like to not be accountable. You've all seen it. When I was gone for 2+ years and people were throwing comments out there like I had a stroke or a heart attack or that I died, when in reality, I was just hiding and I didn't want to show up and I didn't want to be accountable. Think about how far I've come because of my accountability. Think about how I've been doing this now for 700+ days. And I've even had days where I binged and gained a good amount of weight back. I didn't gain all of it back. I was able to catch myself because I became accountable and showed up again. Just think about that for you if you're in that place. So before I get going, I have to give a huge thank you to so many of you today. Miss Peaceful One, Melly, Mel, GYSD, Uncle Reggie, Jacques, Afia with the huge $20 donation, Shauna, Babita, L, thank you so much for all of the donations today. Thank you for the additional support today. That means so much to me. Thank you to my Finally Fasting fam members, to the ones that support me in that additional type of way. Thank you for being part of the Finally Fasting fam. And as always, thank you to my everyday regulars that are here, that show up every day, that continue to help other people out in chat, that are kind and supportive to other people in chat, to encourage them to keep going, to show up for themselves. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. I'm so proud of the community that, I don't want to say that I've built. I'm proud of the community that we've all built, because if it wasn't for people being kind and supportive in the chat, it might not have other people show up in that type of way. You know what other communities look like that are toxic or troll or whatever. Some of them can be entertaining, some of them can be purely toxic, but that's not what I'm trying to promote here. I really want to find a place where we encourage each other to get to our goals. I mean, if it was up to me, the end goal would be that everybody gets to where they need to be. And that is, for me, that's my only goal while I do this. I have my own goals, obviously, but there's a reason that I don't hide any information. I share everything. I take time to answer questions because I think it's important that everyone has the right to be happy and healthy. All right, that's it for me. Until next time, until tomorrow, we'll do this again. Just a reminder for all of you out there, I will not be able to do this every day forever. That day is actually coming to a close soon. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop live streaming. I will try to live stream at least more often than once a week, but there's going to be a transitioning happening. I think you all know why that transition is happening, but we'll probably talk about that later down the road. Okay, that's it for me, everyone. I'm going to do my obligatory wave. Remember, you're not alone on your journey. I'm fasting all day today. If that's helpful for you, keep up on your fast. Tell me, hey, Jerome, I did it with you yesterday, because tomorrow we'll be going through another day, and I ran out of words to say. So I'm going to stop waving at this point. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. All right.